Daytime with Aston. Avery. Stephen Smith joins me, and also joining us right now, there's a lot of debate about the T in the LGBTQ trans somewhat removed. Next guest is the rising star, taking the music world by storm, performing up and down the country as Sue, I think. And Sue, I think, is joining us right now. So, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, congratulations on the song that Aston just played, which is your song. I love Time. It's brilliant. It's really catchy. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, we're really thrilled. And happy Pride.
I know, happy Pride. We made it. Another year. We did it.
Here you go there. Happy Pride once again to you, Sue. So, well, what does Pride mean to you? This is the important question today.
It's always a big one, but I think it's just kind of like taking yourself seriously and being able to be out there so authentically and be your utter self. But Pride should be every month. Pride should be all the time. Like,
I know, it's a shame.
Yes, we should have it every month. Pride month every month.
Oh, we know, and there's so much controversy going on with LGBTQ. Some big trans personalities want the T removed from LGBTQ. Sorry, tongue twister there. Well, what are your views on that?
I don't think they should. I think, the T, trans people have been leading the fight, even like in history, trans people have been leading the fight. And I think, it's unfair that people now believe that the T should be removed. We're all fighting this together. If we all get in bigger groups, then we will go forth together better. More hands make the load lighter. So I can only.
But what they're actually saying is that the trans women are women, so they're not placed in the LGBTQ.
I don't know though, because I just feel like, again, it's the same thing. It's safety in numbers and safety in community.
Yeah.
It's always been a community. How can you now stop the community? Like, of course, trans women are women, but we're all queer at the end of the day. We're all the same community. So I don't know. I think it's disregarding to a lot of like trans people who have passed, who have fought for everybody's rights. And now it almost seems that like trans people are put to the bottom of a list, where I don't believe that's necessarily fair at all.
Look at April Ashley, back in the day, and she said it was very funny. She was asked to be on a trans magazine with Kate Moss, and she asked what the fee would be, and they said, well, there isn't one. And she said, well, what are you paying Kate Moss? And she said, a really nice fee. She went, well, I'm not doing it then.
Exactly.
So that being said here, and I think this is another serious question here, I have to say here, so have you always felt that you were what they call in the wrong body at times here? And this is quite a serious question, I have to say.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I think with like transitioning, there's no end point, and there's no, there's what is transitioning, it's ensuring that you feel comfortable in oneself. And I think everybody has different definitions of what transitioning is. And for myself, like, it wasn't necessarily that I didn't feel in the wrong body, but I felt that the body that I was going into was wrong for me. And so that was kind of why I went about it. However, that could be the case for some people. That might not be the case at all. I think transness is a massive umbrella now, which is so beautiful and wide. And I feel like it desperately needs the information needs to be spread about it more. And hopefully that'll happen over the next couple of years.
Education's the way forward. We were just talking about that. Blocking people because they have a different of opinion is so wrong, because how can we convert them, or not convert them, it's the wrong word. How can we educate them if we put them to one side? Who are your heroes growing up?
My heroes, gosh. I mean, I would love to say something like really deep and indie, but unfortunately, I just love Cher Lloyd. I just watched the X Factor. I love Cher Lloyd. I did all the pop girlies, put a bit of Cheryl on, Sugar Babes, heroes. I suppose I didn't really start getting queer heroes till I was about a teenager. And then there were people like Chrissy and the Queens, at Leaf, Khalifa and Perfume Genius, until I was a bit older. But when I was a child, just all the pop girlies, I think, were the yeah, really.
So that being said here, so do you think that trans people are being treated fairly right here in the UK at the moment?
No, I think there is a lot of underlying transphobia. I think the worst bit about the UK is that people don't, it's not spoke about, but I think that's the issue. People aren't speaking, and I think they're not speaking because they don't want to speak on trans issues, where I feel like the conversation needs to start happening and needs to be more open. You know, we need to stop getting trans people on TV to just berate them. We need to stop putting them like on morning TV spots to just like make fun of them. We need real conversation and real education, and no fear mongering either. Like we need to get rid of the fear mongering, of course.
I'm going to skip a question here because it's relevant to this, but I find it very frightening listening to Posey Parker in Manchester, hate group, screaming and the ignorance of it. And she's actually taking something. Posey Parker is this woman that's supposed to be for women's rights that says that trans women are men. And they shouldn't be allowed in toilets, and the list is, and she's picking one little section of it. But I think it's quite frightening. I think this hate group's growing in the UK. How do you feel about it?
Well, that's the thing. It's the miseducation, you know. Of course, there's hate groups growing in the UK because whenever you see trans people, it's in the wrong context. The media isn't putting trans people in a positive light. In fact, they're making an issue of trans people where, in fact, the issue is not trans people at all. The issue is these rules that we already put on, you know, is people are scared of trans women in toilets. It's like, why don't you be scared of predators in toilets, not trans women? Trans women just want to wee. Like I
don't know if you listen to Posey Parker, she's describing a man with a giant penis with boobs running into the men's toilets who's predatory. She's promoting that, and it's quite frightening because it's so inaccurate. It's so inaccurate.
It's so inaccurate, and
I don't know where to start.
It's dangerous.
So can you tell us a bit about your music influences here, Sue? Because we know you're an amazing singer here.
Musical influences. Well, of course, I mean, I grew up in music was constantly playing in my household. So, you know, I listened to like Cher Lloyd. My dad used to listen to like Pulp and the Beatles, and my mum would listen to like Acid House, Beverly Knight. So it was a massive mix. And then my brother would listen to Drake, and, you know, and I guess a bit of everything. I think just good music. What makes a good hit is the rules, basically. If it's catchy, got a good hook, then I'm all ears. So I'd say
one of the wonderful things, Aston, when I first met Sue, she is a beam of light.
Oh, thanks.
Such a warm personality and beautiful smile, and her energy is always up, even when she has a hangover. How do you manage to keep so bright and happy?
Well, you have to, you know, this world's tough. And I think, you know, you need to get up every day, pick yourself up off the floor and get on how you want other people to get on. And like, you know, you've got one life to lead. Yeah. And, you know, I think I have just kind of like an undeniable will to live. I just really want to do, like, enjoy.
Feel the life. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant.
So what's next for you, Sue?
What's next for me? Playing some shows up and down the country. We got like London in a couple of weeks, got Leeds coming, Glasgow coming, Norwich coming, I think.
Where in London are you going to be?
We're in London. So in London, we're going to be in Brixton at Spanners on the 20th of July. So if anyone's in London, please come to that. It's looking like an amazing lineup, and I just feel really blessed to be playing. So it's going to be fabulous. And then some new music out around that time as well.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. How can people find you?
So it's Sue, I think, on all social medias. No E on Sue, though. I'm not 40 years old. It's SU, I think.
So it's a pleasure to have you on today here, Sue, and we'll hope to have you back on in future as well.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you so much.
Sue. See you soon.
See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So I think here on Gateway 97.8, and Stephen, you're coming to Basildon Pride when that's in September?
They never invite me. I'm invited to all the other prides, but Basildon seems to have missed me out. I'd love to come.
So how can our listeners find out about you, Stephen?
You can find me on Twitter @SteveToSeeYou, and I'm on YouTube, @SteveToSeeYou as well, and the same on Instagram.
So, Stephen, we'll see you next month, and thank you for joining me on Gateway today to highlight Pride.
Bye. Thanks, Sue.